the fields are always wet with rain. After a summer shower, when I saw you standing in the garden, wet with rain.
Hi, Mark Ram for SpicingUpYourLife.com. Well, it's been a long time since the last time we got together. It's April 21st today. It's my granddaughter's birthday today. Happy birthday, Emma. Anyway, I wanted to get back in the garden, and we've got a lot that's happened, and so why don't we just get started? Let's start over in the flower garden. You see I've come up with a new deer repellent system here that's a little bit more elegant than what I did last year. We're going to find out how well it works, although we planted mostly deer-resistant plants. But what I did is I bought these strips, which are actually a vinyl screen molding, and they work well and they won't deteriorate in the garden. And then I strung the deer netting over the top, and of course the deer netting, being almost invisible, allows the garden to really look nice. And the I think the strips, you know, don't distract that much, but anyway, I think it's a good solution. So anyway, let's get up in the back of the garden here. See lots of mint coming up already very profuse. And you know, the garden's already started to bloom a little bit. Looks kind of nice. And again, I think our features well. What I did is I stapled the netting at the back side and twist tied it, or zip tied it at the front, so it gives it some mobility but yet some security. And again, the same over on this side of the bed. You can see that our ivy wintered fairly well. It certainly was a cold winter, but it's come back very nicely, and it seems to be growing quite profusely, as well as the jasmine, which is coming up. It's going to find its way up the wall here in the next year or so. You can see how it's come out from underneath the bench there. It's really likes that little space down there. We had just a million blooms on this lemon tree here. It doesn't look like, well, it's possible. I don't know. I can see how these, looks like we may have a decent crop if these other ones don't fall off. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see there. There's still a few blossoms on the tree. And this year, the hollyhock disappeared. I think it died last year. It had some kind of fungus. But in its place, all of a sudden, we have violets growing in the garden. I have no idea how that occurred, but it's a pleasant surprise at any rate. Our tulips did really well this year in the garden, and looking very, very good. We have a couple of wild daisies, I think, that popped up here and over in the garden, which is very nice. We still have some plants to plant in our pots up front. You can see that our wild hibiscus is starting to regenerate, and so that's a good thing. And so let's head over into the vegetable garden. So we had to make a few repairs on the fencing, as we actually had a deer in here in the early spring. I had to reinforce and add a few posts in the back, which is, I believe, where they came in from. Anyway, we're quite excited. The garden is basically all in except one item that is to go in now, which is a Malabar spinach. It's a climbing spinach. That pole over there is the stake for that spinach. I haven't gotten it to germinate yet, though, so we're working on that. Anyway, we planted some squash on this side of the garden. We always try to rotate our crops so that there's less chance of disease. But I've got what's called a squash medley, summer squash medley. So this is kind of a grab bag. We'll see just what comes up out of this, and that'll be an exciting adventure. We've had to plant the cucumbers twice, but now they are definitely up. We've got 4 in this bed and looks like 3 in this bed, which is fine. There'll be plenty. And then we start our tomatoes. We actually purchased 3 of the heirloom tomatoes. We've got a German Johnson on the end here. And then we have Marglobe, a Marglobe tomato here, and then we bought a something called a yellow pear tomato, which will be a yellow grape tomato. And then the seeds that we start actually here with the tomato keepsake. And this is a tomato that is supposed to be able to, once picked, be stored at room temperature for up to 2 weeks. So we're looking forward to that. We have 4 of those plants. We have 1 there, 1, 2, 3, and then the last plant on the back side over here is a Consaluto Genovese tomato. And again, it's more of a sauce tomato. And I have again 4 of those plants, although the other 3 are actually on the other side of the garden over there. Again, just for purposes of rotating, we had tomatoes in this section, and we didn't want to redo that. So then we start with our peppers, and these I just planted today, the seeds that I started. We start with the Corno di Toro pepper, and again I'll have actually my garden map and links up on the website, and if you're seeing it on the website, it'll be posted with this video. And so then I do have 4 of those Corno di Toro peppers. And then we start with the Bulgarian carrot pepper. And again, explanations are on the website. 4 of those, 1, 2, 3, an additional 4th down here. And then 4 Thai hot peppers. We love the Thai hot. We didn't raise any last summer, so we're going to raise some this summer, so we have more of our pepper that we love. The spinach has been in the garden all winter, and it actually, what I trimmed yesterday was pretty much ready to bolt, I think. So it's been very warm, relatively speaking, for spring. We had some very hot days. We're expecting another one of those this weekend. So, and then the 3, again, the last 3 of the Consalutos, which is our sauced tomato. Then I think I skipped down here the our Italian basil. I forgot to add that. And then on this end we've got the Thai basil, which I love the Thai basil. So we've got that. Again, it might seem to be crowded in here, but again, the lettuce, romaine, and a Bibb lettuce that once those are gone, they won't be here that much longer. That'll give room here. And then we have radishes, which we're starting to thin out, and hopefully we'll get some big ones, but we haven't had any really nice ones yet. Those will be done fairly shortly as well. Then there will be 1 row of okra that's going to go in here, and that's going to be a white okra. We're going to try that this year and see how that is. 2 new additions to the garden are 2 red raspberry bushes that I bought, and hopefully we'll have some raspberries this summer. We'll just have to wait and see about that. We've got more violets over on this side of the garden again. Not sure where they came from. Our roses, again, got through the winter pretty well. We're looking forward to some blossoms here soon. And then we planted some zinnias in some various spots around the front of the garden here. I'm hoping that they don't get choked out by the raspberry bushes. But anyway, that's our garden, and it's in pretty good shape, and we will see how it grows from here. Well, that's about it from the garden today. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks, Until then, happy gardening.